Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to break down the 3 best tools you need to monetize your audience on social media. So I'm going to break down 3 different tools that you can be using, and I'm going to be making them in order of priority. So the first one is absolutely one that you need to start out with. The second one would be beneficial, and the third one is for people who are like super legit and ready to like take things to the next level. Obviously I have a bonus one up here which I will show you towards the end of the video as well. So if you're serious about scaling your coaching or info product business, then you definitely have to use these 3 things. It may be pretty obvious, but I'll be giving suggestions on what I think you should be doing and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing is obviously a landing page builder. So if you get all of this attention, like you can see here, but you have nowhere to drive it, right? Like you have all this attention from all the different platforms that you're popping off on, you need to drive it towards a landing page, because if you have no landing page, there's no way for people to pay you unless you have some way of sending Stripe links to people in the DMs and get them to pay you that way. But it works way better if you have a landing page, nice and clean, shows what you're trying to do. You have a VSL on there or like a cool slide deck or something to kind of get people excited about what you have to offer and to get them to pay. So landing page is absolutely necessary. This will do a lot of sales for you on autopilot, because like even if you aren't using the other tools I'm mentioning that'll help nurture your leads and get people onto your landing page in the first place, just by having this link in your bio, by making that like your call to action, or just by having it there, you're naturally going to have a lot of this attention fall through and come into the landing page and then eventually decide whether they want to buy or not. And if you have this set up well, you can definitely be getting a ton of sales with just this. So the 2 tools that I recommend you use is first Webflow. Webflow is a really good landing page builder. It's really straightforward to use, super clean, and they have lots of really good templates. So if you're just starting out, you definitely need a landing page, but you don't have to spend hours and hours and spend a bunch of money making it. Just as long as it's clear, simple, get straight to the point, that's good to go. Because at the end of the day, most of your audience is going to be coming off your social media like content. So they're already going to know more or less like what you have to offer and if they like you or not, which is huge. Like they're going to have some preconceived notion before they even get onto the landing page. So if you do a really good job on this part of everything, so the attention and then also the nurturing in this section here in your videos, the landing page itself will convert pretty damn well, assuming that you have a product that people actually need. And the second one is ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is a classic landing page builder. It's also very simple to use. This platform is also really good because it has a lot of analytics. Like it shows you lots of different things, and it allows you to split test different like headlines and this kind of thing. This is maybe a little bit more advanced for people who are like actually getting tons of traffic and want to optimize like 0.1, 0.2% growth, because at the end of the day, like when you're pushing huge numbers in sales and like lots of conversions and you have lots of people jumping onto your page, you're going to want to split test for growth of like little things that can make a difference, because in the long run that'll be exponential. But in the beginning, like you don't really need to be playing around with like little optimizations, because you don't have the traffic to do those kinds of things. So ClickFunnels is like a second one that I recommend, and I think is also really good. So once you've got that sorted, the second one, you probably guessed it, it's a huge tool right now that everybody's using, and I think that you should be too, but it's not necessary, although it is definitely favorable, and that's ManyChat. ManyChat allows you to interact with your audience completely on autopilot, meaning you don't have to be sitting there texting them and dealing with them all the time. So, you know, the flows look kind of like this is just a generic screenshot off the internet, but it allows you to basically do that thing where people say, you know, if you comment this, I'll send you whatever it is they're requesting. And it allows you to deliver lead magnets, collect data points from your prospects, your viewers, like their email address and their phone number, if that's something that you really wanted. And you can even set up like email sequences through ManyChat, although it's not the best email sequence flow builder. But you know, if you want to save money, just do everything in one platform, that's totally fine. And the DM sequences are great. Like you're really able to customize it and play around with it. Like even with ManyChat, you could make a lead qualifier form by just prompting them to answer questions that are like multiple choice, and you can just select the flow and kind of see how that goes. You can literally qualify your leads completely on autopilot in Instagram itself, like inside the app, in the DMs with individual prospects, which is freaking awesome if you ask me. And you can even like customize it so your DM sequences, like instead of like just sending a generic text message like everybody else does, you can make a personalized video one time. So obviously you can't put the first name of the prospect in there, but you can make a video that is sent to them on automatically, and that'll make them feel like you're actually speaking to them. Like it's a lot more personal that way. So that's why ManyChat is awesome. There are like some competitors out there, although I think ManyChat definitely takes the cake. Like they're one of the best ones for a reason. And until you're scaling to like 15,000, 20,000 contacts a month, you don't really have to worry about cost. It is relatively cheap, especially for the value it provides. So yeah, like I was saying, just provide sales on autopilot, which is absolutely huge, because at one point you're definitely not going to be able to do all the sales for your coaching / info offer, because it's just gonna hopefully reach a stage where it's just too many leads to deal with. And honestly, it even runs better at a certain point once you have the whole flow down, because one of the biggest things that you need to have is like a short time gap between when somebody's interested in something and when they can access it, which is exactly why like a landing page makes total sense, because if somebody wants to buy something from you, they shouldn't have to wait for you to get online to send them a link for them to pay and all that kind of stuff, right? Like you just have a landing page up, boom, they can go on there, buy your service, even at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're sleeping. So ManyChat really helps with that as well, by just nurturing your leads, and you can even set up like an AI bot that'll speak to them and answer their questions and all that kind of stuff. And the last thing that we have here is Kit. So Kit used to be called ConvertKit. It's essentially an email platform which allows you to have a weekly newsletter or daily newsletter, whatever you want to call it. And then you can also set up email sequences here. Obviously, like I said, this is a little bit more advanced. So if you're just starting out with content, you definitely want to focus just mainly on the content side of things. But one of the most powerful things you can do with your coaching business or any business online is building up a database of people who have opted in to hear from you more. Because once you have that direct line of communication, so if somebody opts in for your newsletter, you are much more likely to be able to sell them, because they literally said like, hey, I want to hear what else you have to say. So if you can, building up that newsletter is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Hence why I think that Kit is a very useful tool for that, because it's extremely easy to use. It has great analytics to understand who's been opening the emails, who's like been replying, who's been unsubscribing. You can see the growth and all that kind of stuff, link clicks, all that good stuff. So you definitely want to be using Click if you have a newsletter. Obviously, ManyChat can do this. I'm just not a huge fan of the way that ManyChat does the sequences, and honestly, I'm not too familiar whether it has like a newsletter type feature. But yeah, Kit is huge for that. Just build up your entire database of people that you want to speak to directly by getting them to opt in through a lead magnet or something like that, and you'll be able to convert people like at scale. And the other cool thing is whenever you launch new offers or you have like bundles or promotions, like all this kind of stuff, you have an already huge database full of people who are ready to buy and interested in what you have to offer. So don't sleep on Kit. Obviously, this like next phase of like social media marketing takes a little bit of time to get to. So if you're just starting out, don't stress about all the different things you're doing. Just like focus on getting the content down, being consistent, and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be good. All right, and the last thing I have, which isn't exactly a tool that's external to the platform, but it's Instagram stories. Instagram stories have always been an amazing way to interact with the people that follow you and to nurture them even further, because the only people that see Instagram stories for the most part are your followers. Obviously, you know, if you have a public profile, people can jump on your page and see what you've posted for the day and that kind of stuff. But the majority of the people that are seeing this are going to be your followers. And what that means is you're able to speak to them on a much more personal level, because also of how stories are consumed. You can have like multiple stories up and they can just like flick through them and this kind of stuff. What's been working really well lately is a 5-step story framework, which essentially brings awareness to a problem, then it pushes on the pain point in order to get people emotional about it. Then you provide your solution as, you know, the solution to the problem they're having, provide some credibility, case studies, and all that good stuff, and then have a direct call to action. If you pair that with ManyChat, you're going to be able to have these automation flows and interact with your customers or potential customers in this case completely on autopilot. And Instagram stories is something that works extremely well for people these days. And if you learn how to use it in many different ways, you're going to be able to absolutely crush. In fact, I even made a video about this the other week explaining it. So if you want to check it out, be sure to check that out after this video. But learning how to use Instagram stories is something that you should be able to do at any stage while you're building up your social media and these kinds of things. Obviously, the more followers you have, the more people you can have see your stories. So technically this would work better. But even with just a small amount of followers, like 5, 10K, if they're qualified people, these Instagram stories will absolutely crush. So yeah, don't forget to check out that video if you haven't done so already. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. These are the 3 main platforms that I would recommend that you use in order to monetize your social media like presence, like your online business. Like these tools are absolutely necessary. I know the first one might be a little bit like brain dead obvious, like a landing page or a website, like yeah, obviously, but I hope that I was able to provide some value by recommending 2 platforms that I think are great and have actually used myself. So yeah, thanks again for watching the video, and if you found it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. be sure to check out this video next because I think you'll like it.